The only way to get noticed sometimes is being in the circle of startups is by doing something crazy.
Obediah Ayton.
I've spent ages colouring this board, and we're about to go out and take a picture and then post it on LinkedIn tonight.
The guerrilla marketing is not really existed in this country. So that kind of changed my life here, because then I was known. I took that and took it to the business sense, and that blew my brand up. I wanted to take stuff from the West, which was the shiny technology in America, and build a business around that. And obviously meeting people along those ways has helped me progress faster. So this is why I jumped into the investment, because I wanted to get in their game.
If I'm a small business owner and I want to raise funds, do I come to you?
I will give lists on LinkedIn of all the VC funds in this country. Getting through the door and building that relationship, I can't do. You're the boss of your company. You're the only person who could ever sell your company. I can only open the door. So the best way to satisfy a local investor is to...
Gladiators, welcome back. I have a special guest that I met a couple of months ago, I think, on a panel of investors, and he sat next to me and I listened to him. I learned so much, and I invited him to the podcast, and I'm certain you gladiators will learn a lot from him as well. Obediah Ayton.
Correct, yep.
Did I say it
Yeah,
right?
you did,
oh
yeah,
my
yeah.
goodness, I was ready it all morning. Thank you so much. Welcome to the
Thank you
arena.
for having me, thank you.
Where does your name come from?
So Obediah
Obediah.
is what my mother would call me.
I said Obadiah, didn't I?
Yes, but
Damn
it's
it.
fine. I have Obi, I have loads of different names.
Mine's
right?
Mohammed Dari Sudi. I've been called Mo, D,
Yeah, exactly.
Darius, and I'm like, I'll take it to anything as long as it's not bad.
Obi-Wan Kenobi, right? That's
You've had it all.
that's the childhood
You've had it all.
joke. But Obadiah was my grandfather named me. He found it through the British heritage, like a 1700s, a young boy who died at a young age. And my granddad found it and kind of said, you're going to take that name.
So it's a British name.
Yes, but if I looked through and I went back into the history, it actually comes from an ancient city in Jordan.
Wow.
So, as you know, the whole world kind of came from that area.
Iraq, Jordan, Syria. Yeah.
The whole world, all the books that we read came from that centerpiece, right? That's what I know. So Jordan had Obadiah. The Christians took Obadiah, which they put in the First Testament. It's the shortest verse in the First Testament. And then even the Israeli side, the Jewish, took Obadiah, right? So This one name came from all those different religions.
You're here to unite the lot of
Who
them.
knows, right? But it was an accident, right?
Wow.
It's like I had no plan to come out to the Middle East when I was in England. And I came out here and I first went to Abu Dhabi, and this one guy went, Mr. Obadiah. And I went, okay.
I'll take it.
And he said, how did you get this name? And I went, I'd never heard it. So it came from there. But
So where in England?
grew up in Sussex, so in the countryside. Migrated up towards Surrey because Dad was working in London. And back then the roads were quiet, so I used to drive to London. And went to university in America, kind of lived the American uni dream.
Where?
In New York.
Okay. Oh, I love it.
I'm a golfer, so I got a golf scholarship. So the US.
So you're a good golfer.
Good golfer. And
Still playing?
oh, absolutely.
Handicap?
Below zero now.
That's amazing.
And the whole reason why I'm here today is because of golf, and I'll explain that a bit more. But yeah, studied in America, accounting, bit boring, but I knew it would do me good in the future. Mm-hmm. And went back to work in London and came out here.
How long ago?
2018.
Not long.
Not long. And it was
Just
it was on a win.
Just before COVID.
Yeah, it was on a win. I didn't know what to expect. I came out here for a conference. I think it was like called the AIM Congress. Mm-hmm. It's like one government summit, and I was really impressed. It was very big, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. Everything's perfect. The Museum of the Future was half built. So I was just like, this place is incredible. So booked a ticket, stayed in a long stay hotel on Shigside Road, and just built
Fell in love
2
with the
companies from my laptop. Didn't know anybody. Probably the most strangest hotel, like really old orange carpets, smelly, horrible, and sat there, worked through the weekend because I didn't know anyone, didn't have any money.
It was inspiring though, wasn't it? Right? Because you want to get out of here, right?
It was because I'm like,
this is what I got. I want to move. I want to
and
improve.
I could call people, right? And people picked up the phone.
Isn't that strange? People talk about here in Dubai that it's hard to get hold of people. So you have no idea. In Europe, nobody's got their mobile phones on their business cards.
No, they don't.
Everybody's
They
got
don't pick up if you're not important.
Yes.
Over
and
here,
they've got
they pick
professional
up.
gatekeepers who are better than any salesperson to rebuttal you and not let you get through. In here, you can just say, put me through, and they automatically put you through to the CEO.
Exactly. You can knock on the door of a government here and go and have a
Somebody,
meeting.
yes.
Try and get a meeting with the British government. You're joking, right?
At what level? Okay, let's continue, because I want to know, what level did you start? What were your businesses, first businesses here?
I helped my brother start an accounting company out here because that's what I studied and that's what he was good at. He had an accounting company in the UK, just focused on SMEs. So just doing the bookkeeping, accounts, end of year accounts. So I was doing that. I then set up a small marketing company, but that was more from like my own brand to kind of build me as like an image. It wasn't really meant to make money. It was more just like I was spending to build my own brand.
Did you have money when you got here, or
Yeah,
tight?
but it
You
was
had
like
some savings.
I was 5,000 dirhams a month was my rent in Sheikh Zayed Road.
Yes.
All in.
Yes.
Right. To me, I was just like
yeah,
bargain,
exactly.
right? Okay, it was not very nice, right? Very strange.
But
place.
still, you lived
But
in
still,
Dubai.
I'm living, yeah.
The sun's shining 360
Unbelievable,
days a year.
right? So I just had not many outgoings. I wasn't really going anywhere. I didn't have any friends. So it was just like 500,000 dirhams a month. That's my outgoings.
Yes.
And then food. So I had savings from the summer. I worked in London. I had quite a nice job.
Yes.
And I basically used that.
And you quit. You just went to London. You just quit.
Yeah, my CEO wanted to do a PhD and he left and I liked him.
Okay.
So I just went, well, if he's going, I don't, yeah.
Okay. So
I
we're
liked him.
cool about it. And
Yeah, fine.
so it's a big risk still. The way you're doing it is like no big deal, but it's a big deal to most people.
And also I had no friends who'd done that.
You were the first.
Yeah, because the perception was in Dubai was like, unless you're a real estate broker, there wasn't really much entrepreneurship available. You go and work for one of the government sectors, you go and work for a big investment group. But there was no small businesses in Dubai. We'd all heard of, when I came here, obviously you saw Kareem. But Sheikh Zayed Road was empty at that point. There was no advertisement of all these now modern apps. Talabat was just existing.
Yes.
All that other stuff.
There was no Deliveroo and all this
No,
business,
they weren't
yeah.
here yet.
Yes.
So for me, I was just like, okay, let's stick it out. Like, and then this is where like these ideas came from. It was like, I use LinkedIn as a platform. This was kind of like my platform. I'm not really a big Instagram, other types of things. So I went, business people are on LinkedIn. Business is on there, right? I've just got to find it. So I set up these multiple, I wouldn't even call them businesses, brands, to try and win business. So I always thought about win the business, then deal with the business.
And then find out how.
Because
Yes.
at that point I had nothing. So I had to win the business, to fund the business, to then pretty much deliver the business. So that's how I started a marketing agency, an accounting company. And then I jumped into the investment world, which was tough here.
When you said jumped in an investment world, what do you mean by that? Advising people how to invest? Did you start an investment company?
To take stuff from the West, which was the shiny technology in America, and bring it over here and figure out what to do with it, right? Because we have liquidity here in I call it the war chest of the government, right? We have the sovereign funds, which have plenty of liquidity. And I thought, well, all the stuff in America is what everybody wants. We're seeing all these listings. We're seeing at that point, we had this huge tech rally. So it was like, wow, we're hearing all these big names raise billions, list, do IPOs. So I thought there has to be a connection here. And I used to work in London, New York. So I thought just create a bridge. So I was trying to match some transactions from both countries and build a business around that. Now, I did that successfully. I managed to get kind of this one transaction. I'll tell you about it. So when I played golf in America, so going back to the golf story, golf, you're around very sophisticated high net worths because only supposedly rich people have enough time to play golf and they can afford it. It's an expensive sport. It's not like buying a football and having a kick.
The mindset as well. The mindset
Agreed.
is different when you're playing golf. Directors tend to do that.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So you're kind of around very senior
Wealth,
people.
yes.
And I learned how to act around them because when I was at university for my tuition, I used to caddy at the weekend. So you used to
You
caddy.
pick up on the energy and the conversations.
So you learn how they act, right?
How do they act? How do the wealthy act?
Calm. And they
Do they talk business on a golf course? No.
know, but they talk about things, industries, and how they see things. But they don't talk about doing business or what's gone on in the office. they talk about what they've seen and what they like. And it was more about the act, kind of like the calmness. There was nobody selling. There was like
Nobody
this,
pushing anything.
No, there was this kind of like element of, there was like a bubble of trust. It's like you're with your buddies and you probably do business together already. But there was this kind of like whatever's said in this 4-ball stays in this 4-ball. So as a caddy, I'm eavesdropping and listening on it.
You're in that inner circle.
And I'm hearing some big stuff and I'm like, okay, they must trust me because they play golf with me every week. So I just learned in the high net worth community, trust is everything and consistency. They play golf with each other every Saturday. They like guys who show up on time, who speak the same language.
That's interesting.
And they're reliable, right? As a person who runs around the world doing business,
yes.
Who do you respect the most? The person you can call, they pick up the phone and they get it done. They use their own initiative and they get it done. So that's kind of what I learned from that community, which then I took to the business world. So golf taught me everything. And obviously meeting people along those ways has helped me progress faster. So this is why I jumped into the investment world, because I wanted to get in their game. Because I was surrounded by them.
When was the first golf club you joined? Did you start playing straight away?
It's expensive. Well, yeah, but back in England, it was like 400 or 500 quid
here.
for a membership.
Did you think, right, I need to join the golf club? I need to
Here,
start playing
no,
golf?
I couldn't afford it.
Shit.
29,000 dirhams a year, right?
Yeah,
so I played because I liked it. I paid 500 dirhams to play one round here and there.
Yes. But you weren't consistently meeting wealthy people and stuff like that. So, and then you started the conversation by saying you're talking about government wealth funds, right?
Yeah.
Somebody like me, really, I wouldn't even. We went to Etihad Stadium and watched Liverpool play City at Etihad Stadium, and we met the owner of City and the chairman of Mubadala.
Yeah.
And that was the closest I got to him. A great guy. We shook hands and that was it. How do you get to meet these people? Because somebody like me wouldn't even know where to start. And do they meet people?
They do.
The government wealth?
The Emirati population is so humble. I went to my first ever Emirati wedding 3 weeks ago. A guy called Mohammed bin Hendi got married, right?
The Bin Hendi group.
Bin Hendi group, yeah. Great group, right? Father pretty much built Dubai Airport. That was his job by Sheikh Mohammed. So think of... So the families here, when somebody gets married, because there's this tribal relationship, you had the Minister of Tolerance drive all the way from Abu Dhabi to shake hands with Mohammed bin Hendi and then leave. 2 hours, right? He's just, or an hour and a half on Sheikh Zayed. He's driven just to shake hands and leave, to show respect. So no matter what, the Emirati population, they will listen to you. They'll spend time with you if you're in their environment, right? The hardest part is getting to them. So I'll tell you a story where moving on from life, so I was Sheikh Zayed Road.
We're going to keep going back, but I promise you, it all comes together.
Started hustling, building things, right? Yeah. And at the end of the day, you started to make a bit of money, right? So
How did you make your first paycheck?
Winning small clients for marketing and accounting.
Marketing, like showing them how to market?
No, outsourcing. I did the thing on Fiverr, which everyone does, where there was this really good guy and I wanted to do business with him, but Fiverr stopped you doing that. And I managed to connect with him. And then you start outsourcing.
Yes.
So I was winning the business, but I outsourced everything.
Mm-hmm. But
so my margins were low.
Yeah, but you still had to manage it.
Of course, but then eventually you build your team and then you start going, right, I have enough money to pay your salary.
Yes.
So do you want to come and work together and let's do this together? So that was it. It was outsourcing. And the money started to build up, which was nice. Joined the golf course, did all these types of things to kind of start building up, right? And I did a few of these investment transactions in background, which were like 6 months hustles, where I would take an investment opportunity from America, run around here like a headless
Pitch
chicken.
people all the time.
Pitching, getting paid nothing for it because it's all success fee driven.
Exactly.
And I wanted to prove myself to America.
Yeah, that you could deliver. And what was the size of a transaction?
So this one was quite lucky. So the golf network, big Jewish population in Long Island of New York.
Yes, of course.
They gave me a private equity fund and I had Mark Bezos, Jeff's brother, as a GP in one of the funds. So it was a first-time fund, which means to anybody that's high risk. It means you and I could start a venture capital fund tomorrow. Now, it would be a hustle. No track record, no nothing. Nobody's going to give us any money. Even if you're a successful businessman outside of the fund, they don't care. They want to see how you've managed money together as a team. So I had this shiny fund with Bezos, right, and this other guy called David.
Does his name pull a lot of
Well, they
crowd?
seeded the fund. They put 100 million, the Bezos Family Foundation, into it. So I was running around here trying to sell this product. Now, everybody was having a look.
Did they give you a time scale? Like you got 3 months?
Absolutely nothing, right?
Wow.
Well, because it wasn't really like I was a sophisticated group. It was kind of like, let me see what I can do. Let me prove to you that I can deliver.
For them to trust you was a big deal, right?
Agreed, but I made it so good for them. I took the lowest fee, which literally made it not even worth my time because I wanted the CV.
Yes.
And I was saying, I'll hustle and I'll prove to you in the first month I can get all these meetings. So I was running around here.
And you were reporting to them?
Reporting to them.
Although
And they loved
paying
it.
you
No, because I'm working for free.
Yeah.
And some of the meetings I'm getting with these sovereign funds.
They could never do themselves, ever.
So the issue was, because of the name, the doors were being opened and people were looking. Why not? At that point, Jeff was at his peak in Amazon in 2018.
Sure.
His company was going through the roof.
Yes.
So everyone was looking, but the issue
I think
was...
they still open the doors now.
Agreed, right? But first time fund. So you know when it goes to the actual diligence process, it takes time. Eventually I got some money into it.
How much?
It was only $5 million, $5 million.
Wow.
Right? And I took 80 basis points, which was like 0.8%, paid over 3 years.
Nothing.
Right? It's peanuts.
Yes.
Every quarter you're getting paid. It was like what? $6,000 every quarter?
Yeah.
For 6 months of hustle. But that then...
It was your win.
That was my win. And that allowed me then go and win other transactions and then start creating this bridge. So you had accounting company, marketing company, and now this kind of bridge in finance. So I was doing a bit of everything, right? Now, pandemic came and I'd moved my brand to Abu Dhabi. Dubai, I say it's a little bit noisy. It's very competitive now, right? Everybody's running to Dubai because Dubai has the new American dream.
Sure.
So I said, Abu Dhabi. It's very sensible down there. It's very quiet.
And the money's there.
So I moved all the brand down there. And I was sitting in ADGM. I had a lovely, nice office there. I invested in Abu Dhabi. And I was looking at the ADGM square. So they have a lovely square there like DIFC does.
Yes.
And it's all quiet because it was pandemic time. And everyone's very reserved. So I'm looking at this Nespresso box. And I saw Instagram, obviously, when I'm eating my lunch. Dude, you know the dude with the sign in New York? Always holds up the sign. So I'm looking at this box, and I'm looking at this dude with the sign, and I'm looking at ADGM Square, and I'm thinking, I wonder, right? And protesting is illegal in this country, right?
Of course.
So I've got all this going on in my mind. So I ripped the box apart. I wrote, where are all the startup founders, right? Where are all the startup founders on this black pen, on this box? I went down to the square. I got a guy who worked with me.
Where are all the startup founders?
Yeah, because it's empty. Abu Dhabi's empty at this point.
Sure.
It's quiet.
Sure.
And I'm like, where's the energy, people? Because Dubai has it.
Yes.
So it's just like Abu Dhabi, I wanted to ignite that and be like, right, this is what's missing here, is this kind of like energy. Everyone's like in their own office in the high buildings.
Quiet.
All looking down at this square and it's empty. And I'm like, right, let's shake this up. So held up this sign, took a picture, AD Gym in the background. I posted it on LinkedIn. And at that point,
how long did you stand there for? Just for the photo?
Just for the photo. That's
okay,
it.
you were like
of course.
half an hour.
No, because there's nobody there. Nobody's watching, right? This is useless. It's not like you're in New York where people are walking past, right? Sure. So
sweating in the
took the picture and just put it up on LinkedIn. And at that point, I had about 19,000 followers on LinkedIn.
Yes.
This was about 4 years ago.
Yes.
And within 5 minutes, head of marketing calls me from ADGM. What's this and who are you? Abu Dhabi Media Office. What's this and who are you? Then they called back 10 minutes later. Actually, can you keep it up? Because they were going to ask me to remove it.
Sure, they were aggressive.
And I'm like shaking, going, oh God. So they told me to keep it up because the comments were positive. Yes. Loads of startups like saying, I'm in Abu Dhabi. You know, I love this place. And they're obviously seeing positivity.
They're fighting for it.
What Abu Dhabi want is for the outside to see this good stuff, people saying good things. So they say, keep it up. 20 minutes later, the chairman's office calls me and says, I say, I'm out of here. So I then get called to the chairman's office the day after, and getting a meeting with the chairman of ADGM normally takes months.
Impossible, yeah.
So met with him, and I walk in, literally like thinking this is my ticket out. And he pretty much said, I like it. And he said, what I'm trying to do is promote more of this as well. And
do you have any ideas?
It's part of his bigger picture. And he pretty much said, continue. Because he said, this is what I'm trying to do to Abu Dhabi as well. So straight from that, it gave me this huge amount of confidence to then go and be more creative. And this is where I think the guerrilla marketing side of it is not really existed in this country. I took that and took it to the business sense. It wasn't like some dating app where it was like, let's go on a date or whatever. It was very sophisticated, like targeted at the investor community, the startup community. And that blew my brand up completely.
Always signs.
Not always, but it was like, that's what got me on the map because I took that risk, but it could have backfired.
But you did a few more of these signs.
Correct. Yeah. I did one on a camel. I did loads of other stuff. So because it was like, it went down well.
And then the community started talking to you saying, I've got this opportunity, I've got this.
They saw me as somebody who was trying to reach the big voices, the big names. We started this conversation by, you shook the hands of Haldoon, the chairman of Mubadala. And the only way to get noticed sometimes as being in the circle of startups is by doing something crazy. A spare the moment event that just got you noticed and got you to a certain seat. So that weird opportunity with a cardboard box changed my life here, because then I was known, and then I built on the brand to be more known. And then I fed information to that community of how to get to the bigger guys, because that's all we want at the end of the day is small business.
So if I'm, correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm a small business owner and I want to raise funds, do I come to you?
Yes.
Because you have access to the funds? Or is it
correct, but I don't want to be known as that guy, right? It's a tough comparator, right? I want to show, like I will give lists on LinkedIn of all the VC funds in this country. Guys, there's all the money. Go after it. Because the problem I have is getting through the door and building that relationship. I can't do. You're the boss of your company.
And nobody can sell it like you can.
You're the energy, right? It's like, you're the only person who could ever sell your company. I can only open the door. You as a founder, you show the graph, the energy. You can start crying in a meeting. Doesn't matter, but that's good. Because it shows that you're in it.
Exactly, yeah.
So it was kind of this point where I just wanted to be that guy to show information towards it. And then, yes, every now and then I might pick a certain transaction. Like there was a startup last year called Dixio, a Danish guy who runs a fintech. I basically said, Middle East Venture Partners has got some money, so you want to go that way. And I said, Becco Capital's got some money, so you want to go that way. And he raised money from both of them.
And you got a cut or the shares in the company?
Honest truth is no. Why? Because I know the VCs and they know me. And when you're known in the market, it's kind of hard to be that broker, right? But I tell you what he will do, and this is where you got to think long term.
He'll take care of you.
Somehow he'll use some of my services in the future.
So what are your services now?
Accounting, boring, but it's very relevant now because of corporation tax here.
Absolutely.
So we're obviously...
That's your brother's company?
Brother ran it in the UK, but I launched the branch here.
I see.
So now this place is trying to clean the books up. It's good for us because we're like the British guys. We've done it in the UK, very regulated, and we're trying to do it here as well. So it's good. The marketing was kind of in-house, kind of somewhat still is, because I kind of just built it internally.
And you probably love being creative, right?
Yeah. And always being creative, no matter what you do. And then the investment, now when we make enough money, we make investments. So we made 2 angel investments last year. It was like the first time I kind of started really getting on the map. We own an accounting and software company. So we built an accounting software and then we started then building other softwares. And then we own this events company, which came out of nowhere.
The one that you're holding twice a year.
Twice a year.
Do you do events for other companies as well?
No.
You see, you're bad enough your own
It's just
challenging.
There's only so much you can do. It's like yourself. You fly around and you're winning business for all these different.
My social media, I've said this a few times, cost me $30,000 a month just to manage it. I don't sell anything.
No, that's what I'm
If
saying.
somebody gave me 30 grand a month, would I open up an Instagram page? You know, you
But
kind
the
of
following naturally sells itself.
yes, because people used to say, "Who are you?" Now they're saying, "Can I afford you?"
Agreed.
Their perception of you changes because of your social media status.
But this is where I like your brand is you're building an arena around you.
Hopefully, yes. I need more gladiators.
No, but agreed. But you right? You're the Maximus.
Yes.
You're the gladiator right there. So you got the arena around you who
Yes.
are your followers, your supporters.
Correct.
Now, the more good things that you can give your arena, the more they're going to trust you and the more they're going to look into you and look at the services and what you do. And they're going to want to grow with you because in any of your companies, it's not just about, okay, here's how much we cost, we're providing a service, right? They want to grow, you want to grow. So it's like if you did marketing for a company raising their Series A and they went out and raised money,
Yes.
they're going to staff up, they're going to become bigger, they're going to use you towards the whole journey towards an IPO.
Yes. Last year, my advice to people looking to invest was they invested over $30 million. Can you believe it? My followers invested over $30 million based on my advice last year. 33 to be precise. Incredible, no?
Unbelievable. But this is
I know,
what I
I
mean
was-
about the
I was
the
looking, I
genius
was
of
like, actually $33 million when it almost threw me to different investment houses. And the returns on average was 30% a year. Amazing.
but it's also that perception of your view on how you view people and companies, because it's like we're here on a Monday and we've got a busy week ahead,
Yes.
but we know the value of content and we're in this to make money. So it's like
But not directly. We know
Not directly.
indirectly. We'll
Indirectly.
Make, yes.
And I think the biggest issue is the kind of, but would you say, do you need to be in a position to indirectly sell? Do you need to work hard in background to build the brand?
But obviously, I'll tell you where I made my money last year outside my companies is through recommendations. So I get a percentage towards the investments that people invest. It makes them. Here's another interesting thing about mindset is that if you were going to invest in a company that I recommend,
Yes.
okay, that company will take care of me somewhere or another, right? It will not make a difference on your investment. Actually, you get a better rate coming through me than if you contacted them direct, okay? 99% of people who I recommended to invest, they didn't tell me they invested. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Because of the relationship I have with the company, they told me that your client invested. Because most people have a scarcity mindset. They think if you're going to win, I've got to lose. So I'm not going to let you win. Although you introduced them to me, I don't want you to win, so I'll go direct. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
And I think the rich think everybody can win. There's so much money out there. You don't have to shaft someone
No,
to win.
you really don't.
They can have their piece of cake. You can have this. Everybody can win. You're not being hard done to by them winning. And that's the abundance mindset.
The PR of the transaction is worth more than the cash.
Yes. Because of my $33 million investment, I get better rates.
Yeah.
I get them as an investor to my events. As sponsors to my events, right? So I benefit indirectly.
Agreed.
So
Why do you need the cash up front?
Exactly. So not everybody wins. Everybody can win. But unfortunately, most people think they have to take from you to win.
But this is over the years of business partners, right? It's like I've had.
Do you agree?
I fully agree, right? But now going into like the business partner mentality,
Yes,
right?
yes.
It's like if you have a business partner, they could have a cash mentality where they they're great
Yes.
and they're good at making cash,
Yes.
but they do not see that same perspective as what you just said of let's take the PR Forget the cash. What? Okay, 50
When
grand's
rent
going to
needs to
buy
get
you
paid. Rent needs to get paid, or-
a second-hand Range Rover. Good for you,
Yes,
right?
Yes.
But I want sustainable, right? So this is where, when we met, I spoke a lot about boring businesses. Boring businesses. I learned in life where I had 1 year where I was cash. Let's get cash.
Yeah, but you needed it at the time.
Agreed.
Right?
But at the end of the year,
It's not
I
happening.
also said, well, I'm January, I think it was 2019. What am I going to do with this cash? And I was just like, wait, hang on. At the end of this month, there's nothing coming in because I was so focused on just short-term cash. So then I went, I would prefer to play golf every day and earn, and this is where my mindset went. I went $4,000. This is what I want every month. But I want $4,000 without me doing anything, where I can sit and play golf on my WhatsApp and just manage things.
Yes.
Right? To a lot of people, they think, oh, in the modern world, $4,000 is not money. That covers rent. That covers any car finance on an average car and food. I'm sorry, that's it. That's life, right? So
And
I'm like,
you got quality of life.
quality of life.
Yes.
So I'm just like, okay, like that year I was making like $10,000 in cash. So I was just like, I sacrificed 60% to just have an easier life. When I did that, then
Your income grew afterwards.
oh my God.
Yes.
So like just recognizing taking lower and trying to build a foundation. And of course you invest in companies, right?
And also you have a plan, right?
Have a plan.
A lot of people don't have a plan. They go, I take your advice, but they don't know what to do with it, right? They don't know when they have this. In a way, I suffer from that because I've got this cult, yes? And for too long, I haven't sold nothing to them. Really nothing. I have 2 million followers. Bro, I was sitting down with my staff and I saw a friend of mine who was raving about his 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, right? And I went and had a look at mine. I had 570,000 subscribers on YouTube. I've got one of the biggest YouTube subscriber businesses in the whole of Middle East.
In this country.
In this country.
At least.
And I said to my staff, why are we not shouting from the rooftops that we kind of like, let's not talk to, let's not shout about
growing
it.
background, yeah.
I said, we've got to start telling the whole world that, by the way, this podcast business, it was just because I want to create content.
Yeah,
it wasn't
like
because
me. I know.
It wasn't, I was just thinking, I can't be looking at the camera every single day. But if I have a really good podcast with someone, and I'm really interested in your business, maybe we can get 10 snippets out of it. That means I don't have to sit in front of the camera for 10 days.
Agreed.
Preach.
Yeah.
And it's got momentum. Now, unfortunately, people think I'm the podcast guy. I'm like, no, actually, I'm not. This is just great content.
We're looking for content.
Yeah.
And
great
nobody
content, snippets, gold nuggets that you can help people.
We spend our whole day doing this a lot of the time,
Yes.
right? And I say to a lot of staff I work with is we have 7 to 10 seconds of attention that we give people online. So you have to capture that interest. So these small statements of content is way more valuable than the actual thing. Now, if you really are interested, yes, you go and watch the full picture.
You go deeper.
Yes. But you do that with anything.
Yeah.
It's like if you see a shiny picture of Italy
say
for the
it,
summer
of Italy.
holiday, right? You see a lovely, Tuscany, great food. You're like, all right, I'm sold. Now let's look at holidays.
Yeah, true.
So you always look
You
deeper.
can influence.
Always
But then
look
if you're consistent over a period of time, this started during COVID. I had a big Facebook following and I just started talking to the camera. I was bored at home.
Yeah.
And it just got movement. And I believe by the end of the year, I have 1 million subscribers on YouTube. My podcast getting 12 to 15 million views. 12 to 15 million. This is huge numbers.
Yeah.
And I've got this imposter syndrome going on. Like, really?
And people don't understand.
I was in China and somebody recognized me in China.
I know.
Isn't that
That's
spooky
good.
in Shanghai?
I know. I have my followings on LinkedIn and I get stopped in Dubai Mall and other places like that because I guess it's quite. My following on LinkedIn is quite like business orientated, so they're all entrepreneurs. So kind of people who work for themselves.
You're having good dialogue with them.
Yeah. So it's nice as you said, but you're like me. It's just, I don't sell to them.
Yes. You just contribute.
Contribute.
But then, the funny thing is, I say this often, when you least confident about what you're doing, God or the universe sends you someone to say, you changed my life.
100%.
And you think, oh my God, I guess I keep going for another couple of more months because it's thankless.
It's like the event I'm doing, I find it quite hard sometimes. The event I'm doing in a couple of weeks is for managing directors, CEOs and big groups. And in a horrible way, I'm boycotting the small business owners, right? And it's tough because you can't really blend both of them. Because if you do one more focus to the other, they won't come.
Different type
right?
of conversations, yeah.
So last Friday, I went to this startup community event and told everybody about basically that community and how to tippy-toe your way to try and impress them. And 200 people turned up. And it was unbelievable. And a lot of people say, thank you so much for the content because you give us belief that it's possible. You're the only one kind of out there kind of pushing, saying it's possible.
Yes.
Pain in the arse, long time, but it's possible.
Yeah, but because they're sitting in their homes and offices thinking, where do I go from here? I'm lost.
Where do I go from here? Yeah.
They don't have the answer.
So that's what I was saying. It's like both communities is tough to satisfy. And if you play on both sides.
Do you think you could do things like crowdfunding?
I think that's the goal. I think let's talk about goal setting. It's every year I have this bad New Year's resolution, which is start a new business every year.
Okay.
All right. So one crazy idea, it comes at Christmas time and I go, right, let's do it. So really 6 years of being here, 7 years of being here, I've got 6 companies. And if I spent more time on one of them, it would probably be more successful, yes. But I'm just that guy. It's like, I'm like you. I'm trying to create that arena effect.
Yes. And put hopefully the right people in
within
place.
the arena.
Yeah, it's challenging.
So the goal setting is massive. So it's like, I wanted to build this group of services. And this year, I'm like, launch this event because you build these massive communities, bigger and bigger and bigger, build the brand, keep the services companies ticking along, grow them naturally, don't push them too hard. And then next year, crowdfunding, a new fund, because I want to give back. I want to be in the transaction space where I'm not, yes, now I'm spending my own money, but you know what it is. Owning your own businesses, sometimes you have to put the money towards your own businesses. You don't always have a spare wad of cash.
Correct. No matter how much you
Even
try.
if you could have the best company come to you and say, I love you, you're amazing, but I don't have any money.
Yes.
Right now because I have to care about my staff.
Yes. Yes.
Which comes as a priority.
Yes.
I can't then go out and spend loads of money.
Staff, rent, and then
everything.
Yeah.
So the goal this year is it's a bit of I call it a building year. Build the community, build the company, and start planning for next year. Because I know how important this year is going to be to step up. Because I want to step up. I want to kind of get into the bigger game.
Scale it. How if I look at Mubadala, they have $1 trillion, right? And more.
They have
$2 trillion altogether.
350 billion, but they're the same money as Adia, ADQ, it's all the same money. So it's like 1.3 trillion.
Cash and then
Cash.
1.1 trillion invested.
Assets, yeah.
Which is incredible. What do they want to invest in? Is it 10 million is too small for them, right? They need bigger investments. And
yeah, let's talk about the categories of investors because anybody watching this, when they look at the Middle East, they just see oil money.
Yes.
In the British slang terms, we call it dinosaur blood, right?
Right.
It's like there's always going to be a pot of money for the foreseeable future. Until you and I are alive, there's going to be
oil
value in coming out of the ground.
Right.
So this Middle East is not going anywhere.
Yes.
Now, the sovereigns, they're the big groups.
Yes.
Manage multi-billions, combined trillions, but it's all the same money. It comes from the same source, right?
Yes.
The same in Saudi Arabia, same in Oman,
Yes.
same in every other territory in the GCC. So these guys are, I call them liquidity providers for infrastructure. They invest in the future of countries. So they look at medical, hospitals, critical infrastructure. They'll build a new bridge in Kenya. They build the big stuff. Why? Because it's backed by the government and it's somewhat long-term low risk. Right? So these big sovereigns don't like to take a startup risk. Mm-hmm. They like to take less risk and bigger transactions because they have a lot of money to deploy and they have to spend it. You can't just leave it in the bank account. It's doing nothing. They have to get it to work.
I was reading, correct me if I'm wrong, Norway is the second biggest wealth fund on the planet, right?
Supposedly it is the biggest. It plays with China, but China, we never know how big it really is.
Of course, yeah.
But Norway is the biggest. Abu Dhabi, ADIA sits third.
Really?
So Abu Dhabi Investment Authority sits third.
Right. So, but they have to spend minimum 10% of the fund every year.
Yeah, because they've got more coming in. You can't leave it there.
Crazy, right?
So that's why it's like if you and I were just doing 1 million here or there to venture transactions, we won't be able to spend it faster. So they have to look big. So they're the sovereigns.
And there are enough businesses out there for them to continuously invest.
Correct. I mean, PIF Fund just bought 10% of Heathrow Airport in the UK. Right?
Wow.
It's they have the liquidity, and eventually these sovereigns will own big portions of countries, infrastructure of those countries.
And the West think they're independent, but not really, because companies or sovereign wealth ones in Saudi Arabia own huge chunks of.
The biggest thing for people to watch at the moment, is we're in this commodity bubble with India, Africa, China, Russia. That's the commodity angle. We dig, we pull from the ground, and we sell.
Yes.
Right. And the rest of the world consumes all of that.
Correct.
Now, the only thing is Europe and the US are the expensive consumers. They buy all the flashy stuff. They buy the iPhones. They buy the nice cars. They spend the most on energy. So if we're producing all the fossil fuels
And
over here and they're the consumers, there's this selling aspect. So what can US and Europe at the moment do, because they're losing power, is push the ESG agenda. Oh, we only buy electric cars. Sorry, your petrol cars? No, we don't want them anymore. You have to be regulated. You have to be compliant to our emissions. So they're pushing the agenda. Yes, of course, to save the world, right? And lower.
But that's not the primary reason.
But what people don't see underneath.
They want to get their power back.
Is they want to get their power back. And America and Europe will always be the big expensive consumer population where they'll buy the expensive stuff. So the BRICS formation.
But don't you think that we're coming to a massive recession soon? Where the American
UK and US already are.
They're borrowing too much.
Yeah,
and
they
can
are.
never pay it back.
But they are to survive. That's the financial cycles. They're borrowing to survive because England is selling its infrastructure once again.
There's nothing left in England.
They don't own any of their railways, any of their energy companies, nothing. But what they do have is the most sophisticated banking,
it's the banking
legal system,
yes.
Any regulatory body. Like HMRC pretty much wrote the corporation tax law here. And this country will always trust whatever was built in the UK. Education, everything. So as I said, that's the power.
Research and
R&D in medical, biotech, everything. So,
but no manufacturing, no nothing.
So no manufacturing, no nothing. So I think if we look at the sovereigns, for most ordinary people, forget about them. They're too big. But they're nice to have on your doorstep. Why? Because knowing somebody there, they've invested in smaller products that then will invest in you. So if you can get to the top of the food chain, meet a guy that has said, yes, we're a limited partner in a venture fund in the UAE. The reference from that guy down to that guy, oh my God, right? If he says, I think you should have a look at this investment opportunity, the general partner of that fund is going to look. Why? Because that's the guy's money you're managing. So it is nice to have that top-down approach. Now, underneath that, you have the guys who manage the money on behalf of the sovereigns. So the private equity funds, credit, venture capital funds. So they're the next layer, which are more approachable for us, right? And they're paid to spend money. So they charge a management fee to Mubadala to spend money. So they're under a time limit because that's how they get their salaries. So if you and I set up a fund, we raise $10 million, we don't take money out of that pot. That's their money. But how we take our fee is by investing in it. Every time we invest it. So we want to get going. We have to have salaries to pay.
Yeah, people don't realize that. People don't realize they're incentivized to invest in companies.
Of course.
So they're like commissioning sensible, but they're actually giving you money, not taking your money.
Agreed. So now we go to
how many are there, would you say, in UAE?
Venture capital funds? 50. In Europe, there's thousands.
Wow.
Thousands.
So
Same
there's
in America.
scope to open many more venture capital.
Yeah. So this is what we're saying is the opportunity here. Now we're getting more tech companies. Now we're getting more westernized people who know how to invest in companies.
So there's so much money, but it's all being filtered like a bottleneck to 50 venture
They don't know how to invest it in the small people. Why? Because the big guys can't invest it fast enough and they don't have the risk appetite.
Yes.
They don't know how to believe in a one-man band who's just set up a software.
Who's got a vision.
He's got a vision.
But then let's say Mubadala, for instance, they give 100 million to a venture capitalist, right? And they will do the due diligence. They will take the risks, but then they will invest in the smaller companies. But to Mubadala, I don't want to deal with it. Just do something with my 100 million, give me a good return.
Take your fee, yeah. So here's your money. So it's good for Mubadala because they're getting rid of liquidity, and you may have a unicorn out of that.
My ignorance, at the top, we're not going to mention it, at the top, right? The small family or large family that own all this. Is there due diligence? Who do they hire? Who do they trust? Do they hire foreign people to come and...
Yeah. It's... What's going on in Saudi Arabia at the moment is it's full of consultants. You've got all the big Boston Consulting Group, PwC, doing everything. Why? Because I think at this time in the world right now, everyone's a bit nervous about job protection.
Yes.
We spoke earlier when we came in about HR at the moment.
Yes.
The world's a funny place, so it's like...
Massive change happening.
We're seeing all sorts of weird things going on. We're seeing big Elon Musk lose power in his stock. We're seeing America having an argument with everybody. Europe, our home country, England,
down the toilet,
just doesn't even have anything nice to say anymore.
Have you listened to the news?
Yeah.
Not one positive message.
Nothing. So why do we don't even look anymore? We focus on this country.
I don't even look at Sky News.
No, because we know it's miserable. Yes. So we're like, let's pick on a country where we actually can see the next 20 years, which we've picked here, right?
Yes.
So I think a lot of these family groups, the guys at the top, the biggest thing that they do from a Western approach, let's say I've just moved into a big family group here and I'm head of investments.
Yes.
Now, I'm nervous about losing my job because I've only just come here. So the last thing I'm going to do is take a big risk. So I'm going to construct a portfolio which is low risk initially, and then eventually there'll be a bucket here where I have some risk appetite. But I need to build my reputation first. So all I'm saying with these family groups is they are quite low risk appetite unless they're established, right? And this is the next layer of investors. So you have the sovereigns, the guys who manage money on behalf of sovereigns. Then you have the family groups who are independent. They don't want the money off the sovereigns, right? Yeah. They want to grow themselves. Wow. So the family groups...
Sorry to ask, how many are there in the UAE?
I want to say there's 200 and something different tribes. Wow. Now, the tribes, and I've been trying to research them.
I love that, tribes.
I prefer to call them tribes.
It's amazing.
Because tribes are loyal to land and families.
Yes, to each other.
Right? Yeah. So I love family. I have a big family back home. 2 older brothers, younger sister, mum, dad. Right? And I speak to them. I don't have many friends, right? And this is another bad thing about business. When you're running around, I don't have time to make friends.
Well, I like it.
But I love my family.
I like my own space.
I speak to my mum every day.
Me too.
Just because I have to.
Yes.
We don't have much to talk about because we speak every day, but I have to. It's kind of like a conscious thing. Mum's all right.
You never know.
My day's all right.
If it comes to an end, you won't have regrets.
Agreed.
You make the effort.
And she's kind of that person who allows me to, okay, it's that tick in the box. I've spoken to mum today, and allows me to work efficiently. Yeah. So family's everything here. And the reason why I like using the tribe word is because I reckon there's 200 something. Now, these family dynasties are now becoming more Western because their kids have gone to universities in America. Yeah. So they like the camera. They like the shiny tech.
Yes.
They're saying, Dad, let's go into this industry. And Dad's like, well, we've never done it before. We make all of our money in construction. And they're like, yeah, but we need to. So the next thing about this country is not just that geopolitically we can see the next 25 years because we're okay here. Yes. But the shift in the tribe generation is
technology into
in our lifetime. We're going through that transition now, and it won't happen again.
Yeah, because once
in our lifetime,
that's it. Yes.
Once you go through this, we've got to wait another 35, 40 years
for the next big change
for the next big change. So right now we're going through that first change, and look what's happened to Saudi Arabia. We've now got a young guy managing the country.
Yes.
What a difference he's made. America now look at Saudi Arabia and think, oh, we can be partners. Who would have thought that? Who would have thought that?
They used to whip this area, didn't they? They used to whip them.
Yeah.
Iran, this area, Saudi. We paid taxes for many years from the oil income. Now we're investing in their company. It's almost like India, actually. India, over the last 50 years, has become a powerhouse. Think about it. They own British Steel, they own coal mines, everything. They've got Range Rover, I think, they own.
Pakistan will be next.
Really?
Yeah. And as I said, it's. I think this formation that the Middle East is building is quite impressive. And as I said, anyway, it's geopolitics is geopolitics. There's nothing
What
you
I
and I
actually
can do about it.
20 years ago, maybe but 30 years ago, I couldn't put my finger on one Islamic country that was doing well. Well, now there's lots doing well because we're fortunate enough to have great leaders. 30 years ago, who was it? Iran. 40 years ago, Iran.
Yeah.
But that was almost westernized. You know, who? Because they say in the West that name me one Islamic country that's democratic, does well, and there weren't many. No. But now, UAE is leading. Like you said, Malaysia's doing very well. Saudi's picked up. It's shifting.
I also think they didn't care, like, about public exposure. And the UAE and Saudi, they were like, we're busy building a country. We don't need your help. Yeah. We just need to build our country first. So I think they still have that essence of we'll do it on our own. Like we'll do it with you and we'd love your support, but
we can do it by ourselves.
We can do it by ourselves.
I remember 20 odd years ago, people, because there's a huge population of Saudi are youth, the young.
Correct.
And they were sick of the large family of princes taking millions and billions. And this new ruler is going to say, enough is enough. Let's look after all of the population and females and give them equal opportunities. Incredible. But what was amazing, in my opinion, is the king's decision to bypass all the other people and give it to his son, who was so young.
Because he had a vision.
What did he see in him?
He had a vision for Saudi Arabia.
Really amazing.
He had a vision for Saudi.
And how did he start? Locked all the families up and said, right, you pay what's due back to the government.
Because he cared about Saudi.
Yeah. Amazing.
Like it's as I said, it's now for a startup entering this market. Right? Let's say anybody watching this from around the world is looking at the UAE and saying, looks like a good place to kind of live now. Yes. Safe. Yes. Seems like there's a lot of energy. There's money everywhere.
I keep hearing these Westerners talk good about the place.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Everyone's happy there, it seems. So the best way to satisfy a local investor is to do something for the Middle East. I say at the moment, even Mubadala did a big PR announcement in Bloomberg the other day saying, if you want our money and you're a fund manager, you have to set up in Abu Dhabi Global Markets. Wow. So we put the money there and we don't put the money over there. Wow. We invest in our country, even though, yes, you might
rightfully so.
Rightfully so, because we want to build our country.
We don't want to rely on.
Well, we don't want to keep sending money overseas.
Exactly.
We want to build our own. So it's. I think that is for anybody kind of coming here. It's you have to build into your business plan this country. Otherwise, join the line with everybody else that just wants money.
Yes.
And this is one country where you can run around for a year and achieve nothing. Why? Because at the first of the conversation, we said, everybody's lovely, which they are. Every door's open. You go and speak to the government.
But making it happen is different.
Making it happen is different. You really have to think about the long-term plan of this country. You have to include Emiratization, which is bringing these local groups on board with you. Now, that doesn't mean employing an Emirati. This means doing business with the big local groups.
Yes.
Having partners.
Yes.
Because doing things independently is fine. But at some point, you're going to have to get in with the country's mission.
So, going back to yourself, you got these family houses, family investment companies. You got the VCs. Your reputation must be pretty good now. So, as and when you have potentially an opportunity, you got a better chance for most people to be heard.
Correct, because I've put in the graft of like credibility and also doing stuff for the country and the community, right?
Amazing.
It's like the next event that I'm doing, I've got 4 Emiratis who are 21 years old talking about how they see the world. And the reason why I like that is because they don't typically get given a voice.
Mm-hmm.
and I just want to hear. I'm fascinated by it, but it's nothing to do with kind of the big, because I've got CEOs, managing directors of all these big family groups, right? Very successful, very powerful, but I want to hear from these young kids out of nowhere, because I really think that's fascinating of how they see their country. So I guess going back to more me and like the personal side of it is, I study the family groups and the tribes here because I enjoy it, and I think a lot of them do come to me to ask me advice, but I can only help some of them, and you know what it's like, it's time.
Sure.
And I don't want to overpromise.
And do you speak Arabic?
No.
You hesitate. Are you learning? Is that why you hesitate?
Yeah. I can understand a little bit when people talk to me, and I want to.
And you've learned this since 6 years ago, 5 years ago?
Yeah, but it's just, I need more time to do it. Honestly, I work too late. My free time, I'm working. I don't have kids yet.
I was going to say, you have a family?
And no.
A partner?
Yeah, a partner of 7 years now. Okay. Brothers have all got kids. And the problem with me is I'm that third brother who wants to kind of like help mum and dad, want to give business to my brothers. I'm on this kind of like opportunity now, mission. I'm the only one who lives away from England. Mm-hmm. And I don't look after myself because I focus too much on getting stuff done. No, but like, don't look after myself in terms of, I focus more about looking after a client because I want to keep the reputation than I do actually sometimes looking after myself, which is, it can get into a bad cycle because you'll pick up your phone when late at night when you're with your partner trying to calm down, and you're actually too focused on satisfying your customer than having your own time.
Yes. And
it makes you, entrepreneurship does make you like that, because you get so obsessed with reputation. And you know as well as I do, it's with all this good I put out, with all this free help. I think it was 4 years ago, I found on Google some article that basically said that they didn't like me, and it hit me. And I freaked out. I didn't understand why the internet could hate me when I actually have not put a foot out wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
I give you all this free information.
Help people, yes.
And then I just learned over the years is it's impossible. Even if you're trying to be good and good and good, it's impossible.
There'll be always haters.
And being visible online, you're never going to please everyone.
Yes.
And still to this day, I care too much about that. I really want to. I don't understand why people, it still can't go in my head why people are upset about it.
I'll give you a little bit of history. I started a company called Argos Mail Order. Do you remember Argos?
Yeah, of course.
Argos stores. Yeah. I walked into a store, this is going back 30 years ago. Bought a shaver, a Remington shaver.
Yeah.
Shaving, it cut the foil. And I was cutting, and I started cutting my skin. So I went to Argos and I said, can I have the foil? I said, we don't have it, you have to go to Boots. I said, I'm your customer, you're sending me to Boots. And he goes, yeah, there's loads of items on our catalogue that we don't supply. Good stuff. So like deep fat fryers, ink cartridges for printers. There's like 300-400 items. So I opened up a credit line for every single item. And I went to Argos and said, why are you sending your customers to Boots? Because when they're there, they buy other items. I'll open up Argos Mail Order and put these catalogs. I'll print for the catalogs, put them in every store. And then when people want to buy, they use me. And they never have to leave Argos. And I started Argos Mail Order. And in 1 year, every one of my catalogs went to every store. Success story. Yeah. It went wrong for various personal reasons. I told this story on TikTok. Man, I had hundreds of people calling me a liar, a cheat. I Googled you never existed. This, and I was like, all I'm saying, there's opportunities everywhere, right? Yeah. It failed. And I'll tell you, I can explain to you why it failed. But because I had to borrow the money off a family member.
Yeah.
And this family member got jealous and started putting employees in that company, spied on me.
Yeah.
And my family couldn't believe me. So I put a tape recorder, got evidence, went and played to the family. And they all alienated me because I shouldn't record people, without their permission. But all I was doing was trying to prove myself. So I went to the guy and said, look, my family's more important. You take it. And after 18 months, he lost the company. Yeah, but that's another matter. But the idea is that when you're an entrepreneur, you see opportunities everywhere. However, I started looking at this, and people are calling me all sorts of names. Yeah, and it's one of my stories that I saw an opportunity. I did very well out of it. So what I started replying to the haters. So no, this is, you're wrong, and check it out this year. Da. And then I got more wound up.
Yeah,
I started
you can't.
swearing.
I know.
I started getting swear.
I know.
And then my son, 14-year-old son from school, Dad, my mates can see this. So don't do anything. So he
Leave
came
it.
and blocked all comments
Yeah.
on my because
And it's best to leave it. If
It's
somebody
best
has
to
an
leave it.
opinion, just leave
those
it.
haters will always hate no matter what, because you're highlighting something they don't like about themselves.
Yeah,
It's not about you.
It's something that I learned, and as I said, it kind of took me a while and it hit me because also a lot.
You're a giving human being. You're doing from the heart. Right?
Yeah, and as you said, it's like when you're starting in a new country and you know nobody, you're building a reputation, and when
That's
when
good.
somebody kind of
Do you know who it was?
some-
No. Anonymous. Exactly.
no,
The
exactly.
assholes can't even
I would love to know
put
who
their
it
name.
was.
And we'll have a dialogue. I'm not going
I
to
would
come and
love.
beat the shit out of
I
you.
always say
Let's
I'd
have a
love to sit
dialogue.
down.
Yes.
I'll invite them all to a lovely dinner.
Yeah. But the good thing is that the consumer now, whoever reads it, notices that they're hiding, so they're not real. The
Yeah,
people
that's
who
what
read
I'm
it
not.
now,
I'm not hiding.
Exactly. So the people will realize who's the truth and who's not. You know.
And again, you're showing up.
I was stalked on the internet, and it was so much shit. And people would say, some of it must be true, right? If you put so much, some of it must be true. So I did about 2 years of investments and finding out how to get rid of internet stalkers. I had the MP of my town in Wilmslow. He was
Yeah.
being stalked, supporting me in the House of Parliament. And we fought against Google, and we won against protecting your right. If somebody says something, you can actually be removed on the search engines. And then guess what? That became the most profitable part of my company.
Yeah.
So sometimes the pain you go through can be a real massive opportunity.
Yeah, and it's and another thing which again it's doing this whole entrepreneurial journey out here and kind of working so hard on reputation. I mean, my friends back home in England, if they said, "What does Obi do?" They go, "I don't know. He does a bunch of stuff out in the desert." So it's quite hard to hear that sometimes because it's like I worked hard to do this. And it's like they kind of don't see it as like a real thing. They see it as just like a thing out in the Middle East.
Yeah, but they go to the pub every day, get drunk, watch Coronation Street, and then they pay
And they have good jobs in London.
Yeah, but they pay taxes and die, right?
Agreed.
We don't even pay taxes. You can go to golf all the time.
Yeah, agreed.
Who's having their last laugh?
No, and
It's
as I said,
ignorance.
there's opportunity here. But as I said, it's
No, what I'm saying is, who's the ignorant one? They or you?
yeah, I know.
You see?
Yeah.
They're the ones because they haven't got the balls to pack their bag and fly and see. I've got so many people phoning me up from the States or Europe. What should we wear when we come to Dubai?
Oh yeah, I know the
What should we
perception.
wear? What are they like? Can we hold hands?
Yeah, you
I
can.
sit in Starbucks and I can't believe the way women dress in this country. They
No.
wouldn't dress like that in Russia or
No.
the West.
It's a land of opportunity now.
Really, in every way.
Islamic law is Islamic law, but
Yes.
in terms of this place, they've allowed it for civilization.
Yes.
So they respect. Obviously, there are certain laws, but they've opened open arms. You can live.
Really amazing.
You can live, but look how well it's done. So why would you turn the tap off?
Correct. We're just blessed to be the right time with the right
Time,
rulers.
yeah. But it's just as you said. It's just we still need more people from around the world to come here because we need more help.
They're coming.
We need help.
I think, like I said, for the
In
next
many
20,
different
30
industries.
years, this place is just going to keep growing. We're still a small town compared to the size of
You and I in
cities in America.
5 years will have offices in Saudi. This size, because it's a natural transition.
Progression.
It's
Bigger market, yes.
bigger market, bigger resources, and again, you're going to go through the excitement of a new country being launched, and you may even see it in places in Africa, right? That we'd never heard of some of these African countries before, but now there's a chance to do business. Why?
So you see opportunity everywhere, right?
Now being here, because I look at Africa and India and Pakistan. When I'm in England, I look at America and Europe, and that's it. I don't look anywhere else. I don't need to. But coming here, it does open up your eyes because you just look at these whole new different industries that you've never seen, these different populations you've never been with.
You're absolutely right. It's interesting. When I listen to Western news media, they're talking about how the sanctions are messing up Russia. Last month, the results from all the banks from Russia came out, and they're all making more money than ever before.
Yeah. And that famous reporter Tucker, the US guy,
Yes.
just interviewed Putin.
I know. Wasn't he amazing?
And he came to the World Government Summit here last week.
Yes.
And told everybody about the interview. Transparently.
Yes.
I mean, again, we're never going to be in the world of geopolitics or politics, but obviously it's, again, there's a lot of friction, but it seems like this as a hub, we're neutral.
I think people should just get off their asses, come here and see it for themselves. Don't listen to news media.
No,
don't listen to this. Yeah. And you will not, why do you want to leave this place? Sun shines, it's infrastructure, security, safety, schooling, everything's amazing. Is it expensive? It's relevant. You earn more money.
Yeah, it works out about par, as I say. It's
relevant.
It's
expensive, but you earn more money.
Agreed. So
I'd rather not
out.
pay 30% to a government. They're totally wasteful.
Yeah.
They can't make a decision. They can't make a railway track for fucking 50 years, right? Here, railway's done $10 billion in a year. Things happen quickly here. Change happens. I said to my mum, why don't you leave England? She goes, because nothing ever changes. And I said, that's the reason I left. Nothing ever changes.
But what's the mission with Arena?
I have an online program coming out. It's an interactive training because I really believe that people are going soft. You know it. People aren't going out there to the meetings like their life depended on it, like they did as gladiators.
No, because the expectation is
entitlement. I don't have to do much.
Things should come to me because I'm on the internet.
Correct. I can send out 1,000 proposals and one of them should stick. Go out there, get on the phone, work hard. So I want to influence more young people to go out and give them, I never had education, business education. I want to teach the masses how to go and earn money, have better relationship with money, because money gives you choices. And the more choices you have, the more freedom you have, the more free you feel. That's what I want to do. I want to bring a legacy that my great grandkids will look and say, our name means something. So they look and think great granddad was a good guy and keep them on the right path.
But as that generation, it's like I'm bad at a lot of things, right? And then I'm medium at a lot of things, and I'm good at a lot of things. But then I would say I'm exceptional at others. But what you're trying to say is you'll always be bad or average unless you get out there and you learn new skills.
You meet new people. You practice. Nobody wants to practice anything. You know what happens? You go to a company, you start and you go, here's a product, maybe do an hour or a day sales training. Off you go, and they burn prospects. They don't want to practice for 3 weeks in their office and learn all the rebuttals and everything else. So the moment they go out there, they're not burning prospects. They're learning on the job. But can you imagine you're a gladiator 2,000 years ago? You've been practicing for a day with some wooden swords. Here's a real one. Off you go.
Yeah, get out in the arena.
You die. But here, you open up a business, you're told 80% of you will fail in the first year. They teach you to get used to failing. And it doesn't have to be like that, especially with the power of the internet. Especially you can tap into Bezos and see his way of thinking. Elon Musk, his way of thinking. My days, there was no internet. Yes, but now I've got 2,500 bits of content out there that people can utilize. Where to sit in the room, how to hold your business card.
Yeah, it makes a difference.
How many minutes before your appointment you turn up? How many people don't know?
In the investment world, it's like if somebody tried to sell me a venture capital opportunity in a fintech startup,
yes,
but I don't know them, and they're just reading it off the investment deck.
You're never gonna.
You could literally tell me today and say, "Obi, there's this really cool guy. I've been looking at him for a year."
Yes,
and based on, I think that you're a clever guy, you're a successful guy. I would bypass a lot of the stuff and just get straight to it.
Yes.
Because
there's that relationship
trust where people expect me to just fall at the knees because they got a shiny deck and they got a good company.
Yes. They can't even be bothered turning up. They send it to you.
But do you think there's a business in the future of kind of like an AI psychology mechanism where rather than investing on financial merits, I'm actually investing in your brain in terms of what you do at the weekend? Did you get married young? How many kids have you got? Where it analyses you.
Pattern forms. Absolutely.
Pattern forms.
Absolutely.
Because then that would give me, like, I would invest more in that than
Yes.
somebody showing me that they make loads of money.
Absolutely.
Because we've just seen Bolt, right?
Yes.
Bolt, the for anybody listening, the founder of Bolt made it a $1 billion company, right? And Bolt is pretty much a ride-sharing company, food delivery, it does everything. He got his employees to take out loans to buy secondary shares in his company because they saw it going up. You and I would do the same, right?
Share the success of our business.
Share the success of our business, right? But the guy just went, because it was him, just went off on one. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Inflate the value of the company, right? It went into the multiple billions, and today it's valued at 320 million. And all these employees who bought secondary shares, quite expensive, took out loans to buy that because they were sold on an entrepreneur's dream. So all I'm saying is that was a 6-year cycle,
Yes.
but it came to an end
Yes.
after 6 years.
So he's looked upon badly, right? He's
Now.
frowned upon, yes.
He's
At the
another one of
time-
those tech CEOs, but at the time he was God.
Wow.
So it's that's all I'm saying is, if I look at a human and I look at patterns,
Data is everything.
and also just
And data is the future.
a
It's
person.
human patterns is data, isn't it?
Agreed.
AI is based on data. Right now, all Tesla cars are collecting data
Yeah.
so that a cone or something falls in front of a car. They know how to behave because of millions of data that they processed.
Agreed. And it's but my back to my point about the kind of how we perceive people and investments is it just changes the whole mechanism of, I don't mind if you're a good person, I see you in it for the next 10 years. It's like investing in healthcare. If you're not in it for 10 years, forget about it.
Yes.
So it's like a 5-year goal of a guy building a shiny company and getting a valuation through the roof. And it has huge gains. Sounds great. But now seeing all those stories, I actually prefer people who grow slowly,
Yes.
grow year on year,
Yes.
grow their team,
Yes.
grow the good people around them. Don't rush, because what do companies do when they get loads of money? They employ and they rush employment.
Yes.
Human capital is everything.
I've recently invested in a company that you know. I put the capital in. I haven't heard from him since. And there's a second series. And I'm like, why am I chasing you for data? Show me what's happened to that money. Show
Even
me
if
the
it's
growth.
bad, I don't care.
Just show me. And I'm chasing them, and oh, we're busy end of the month. I'm like, do you want more money? And I've got more to give. But they don't see it. And
Don't hide.
the bad news is coming, because when they come end of the month and say, can we have our next chunk? I'm going to say, no, because I asked for information, you didn't give it.
Because you're that person who you
You
every
need to
time
know.
I say you look at graphs. We all like graphs that trend up. It's like every time you meet an entrepreneur, you put a dot on the graph, right, of where they are on their journey, and then next time you meet them, like let's say you meet them, the dot is down,
Yes.
but
Why?
then the next
How?
dot could be high.
Absolutely.
So you're seeing all these stocks.
Yes.
That as long as the long-term graph, boring business, keeps going up, I don't care. Just
I don't
tell
care.
me.
Because probably what you're going through is, I went before. Another thing is, one of the things I said to them before I invested was, I'm here to advise you. Do you know how many times they called me? 0.
Yeah.
0.
'Cause it's
and
not
when I
about
send my
cash.
money, I said, be very careful how you spend my children's inheritance. Because it is. Right? Be very careful how you spend it wisely.
I'd shake spending that money.
Yeah. And I haven't heard from them once.
I would shake spending that money. Honestly.
You make them think
Like
about it. Right?
$5,000, I'd literally be like, can we get it lower,
Correct.
please?
But I haven't heard from them once. No reports, no nothing. And the end of the month is coming. I promised them another chunk, but it's not going to come. Because they haven't met me. They haven't phoned me up. They haven't shared anything. Nothing. Nothing.
Yeah, because it's not about the cash. It's about me being bought in.
Yes. Yes. And this, you idiots, there's so much more I could give. But you're going to miss out on it because You didn't deliver what you promised. Interesting, right?
Unbelievable.
Do you know it's been an hour and 15 minutes?
It's good.
I've enjoyed every second of it.
No, thank you.
Let's do it again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Thanks a lot for your time. Thanks for having
And
me.
I really, your energy was different when we first met. Your energy is like tenfold today than it was last time. But you tired last time? I love your energy, but like, I feel it today. You're on fire.
Yeah, I think it's because I'm more into what I'm doing this year.
Mm-hmm.
And I think also speaking to someone like you, it's like, I want to be you in like the next 4 or 5 years. So it's like, I want to listen and learn from you. And the reason why I'm into it is because also you have the same mentality. Sometimes just talking to an open audience, it's hard to kind of, except from throwing a bunch of one-liners out there,
It's different.
it's hard to get into it. And it's the reason why like my mates at a golf course are like 50, 60, 70 years old is because I just learned from them. And again, it affects me. I messaged your assistant this morning, making sure this was the right building, because I don't come to the marina.
Yes.
Why? Because I see the marina as like a nice, like with beaches and everything.
Yes,
I
yes,
don't
yes.
come here.
Yes.
I'm a bit of a
And you know-
loser. I stay in
No,
my
it's
little
beautiful
bubble.
because she phoned me up to say he's so professional, he confirmed.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Suddenly your credibility with me goes up.
Communication.
because-
I'm all about
Me
communication.
too. People don't realize it. You never get fired for over communicating, but you always get fired for lack of communication.
The best, as I said, the best story was I turned up at Wentworth Golf Course with my old CEO in London, Indian guy called Robin Bagchi, lovely guy, but very on it. Now I got there early, and it was first thing in the morning. He goes, "Can you go into the clubhouse and get the guys to just get me a croissant, just a basic croissant, not really a coffee guy." So I went straight to the boys at the front desk and said, "Mr. Bagchi would like a croissant." I don't know why, he feels like one, and he'll be here in 10 minutes. So I went to the driving range, started hitting golf balls. I see him marching over, right, the CEO, and I'm just like, right, what's happened? Been a bad day or been stuck in traffic?
Croissant.
Where's my croissant? And I told the boys, Kate, he said, "I told you, not them, you. I don't care if you walked into the chef and asked it done. You wait there until you get it, and it's delivered." So it kind of, these little simple messages was like, he wants me to be reliable. That's it. If he asks me to get something done,
He doesn't want
get
to
it
think
done.
about the croissant.
Doesn't want to think about it.
It's done. It's dumped it. It's gone. You take care
Gone,
of it.
right? So this is where you have to respect the people above you, respect the people who have more intelligence, been on this planet long enough. They want people who are reliable. They ask you, you come back to them, get it done, even if you've made a mistake. I could have bought him a croissant that was the wrong one with
Chocolates or
chocolate
something,
in it. At least I delivered. So that stuck with me. So when people communicate with me,
So
I know you're a
what did you
busy
do?
guy.
Did you run and get the croissant, or do you say, "Oh shit, sorry"? Or what
I
did you do?
apologise because
And then did it ruin
we had to
your
tee
next-
off.
And did it
He
ruin
was
your-
grumpy for the first 5 holes. I had to deal with him being grumpy. And
And how did you feel when he's being grumpy? You think, shit, I made a mistake, or
100%. I palmed it off. I palmed my responsibility,
somebody
my
else,
credibility. I palmed it. I gave the responsibility to somebody else who could jeopardize it.
but you took that as a lesson, and you didn't take it personally. You didn't go, "Oh, it's sulking and all this."
And he was horrible that round and I was just like, this is so pointless, just a croissant.
It's a fucking croissant.
And he's like, if I value you on being reliable, and this is where it's just like with yourself, you're a busy guy.
Thank you.
All you care about is somebody just communicating with you,
And
even if it's bad
appreciated
news.
so much. It's so appreciated. So even now, like I said, you don't know, because the PA comes to me and says, "You're so professional." Boom, boom, boom. Your credibility goes up before you even enter the office. Think about it.
If you called me, I'll pick up the phone.
Yeah. Amazing.
Other people who I don't really know, you have to, unfortunately, use your time wisely. If I don't know you, I'll call you later.
Absolutely.
Good. All right.
It's been a pleasure, man.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot for your time.
Don't go. We've got to take some photographs. Gladiators, I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah.
If people want to get in touch with you, how do they do that?
I am very active on LinkedIn. So Obediah Ayton on LinkedIn is the best platform, I to use. Yeah,
we'll
done.
put that a text underneath.
Yeah, because it's where I'm active. That's my platform.
Done.
And that's why I'm big. So yeah, follow, free information, and I reply to everyone. That's how you build a community.
I'm absolutely proud of you. It's been an honor.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I salute you.